Hi, this is Heidi from Garden Crossings, and I'm out in the greenhouses today, and I wanted to be surrounded by all these beautiful plants while I'm planting up. I think I'm going to do 5 different combinations. So basically what we have here is the start of combinations that we're doing for the garden center. These are all things you can do to create in your own garden if you like the recipe that we put together. We'll be listing the components of each of these planters on the screen so you can see what it is we put into the planters. So the first one I'm going to put together here, this is called the Pure Bliss combination. And in here we have the Rockapoko Purple, we have Goldilocks Creeping Jenny, and then in the center for kind of the thriller, we've done the Euphorbia Diamond Frost. So this is going to be a mix of purple, white, and then the chartreuse green color. So to start off with, I'm going to kind of remove them all from the planter. This here is a 15-inch pot that we're planting into, and we're going to be putting 7 plants in this container. So I have it filled right now with potting soil, just fresh, brand new potting soil. It's really important that you use new potting soil every time you're planting up your containers, because if you use stuff from the year before, it's going to be pretty much all the nutrients in it are going to be depleted, and it's all rooty and gross. So it's always best just to start with fresh potting soil. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off with the Diamond Frost, and I'm going to just kind of pinch the pot a little bit, and you can see there, beautiful root system. I remove all the tags. What you might want to do is remove the tags and clump them all together and just put them in the side of the pot, but I don't use those here for our planters. So I'm just kind of digging a hole there. I'm planting it just a little bit lower than the rim of the pot. And then now I've got 3 of each of the next plants that we're going to use, and we're going to plant them in a triangle. So the Creeping Jenny. Another Creeping Jenny. And then the third, and I've made a triangle here in this container. Now I'm going to take the Impatient, this is the Rockapoko Purple, and plant them between the Creeping Jennies. Now I might need to, when I'm finished, fill in any gaps in the planter if I need a little bit more soil, but out here in the greenhouse I don't have my dirt pile to pull from, so I'll do that after the fact. And actually I think for this one I'm pretty good with how much soil was in here. So I'm just pushing everything in nice and tight, making sure they're all buried in the soil well. And now I'm gonna grab one of each of the tags for the plants that we used. Let's see here. That way when a customer buys this container, they know the care instructions for all the different plants in here. So I'm going to just stick it right up in front like that, and this one's ready to go. So this is the Pure Bliss combination. The next combination is called Firefly. And this has the Begonia Double Delight Blush Rose. It's got the Firecracker Fuchsias. And then it's got one of the Purple Wandering Jews. I thought I had another one of those, but I don't think so. Wandering Jew is a pretty aggressive plant, so we really only need one. Now this one I'm going to plant a little bit differently. Mix up the soil a little bit. What I'm going to do with this is I'm going to plant the Fuchsia Firecracker in the back. So this planter is going to have a back to it, and then the begonias, and then the Wandering Jew in the front. So I'm going to have to remove some soil because these are a pretty big root ball here. So this is kind of a variation of one of the planters that I've done on my front porch. So if you've ever done any, have you ever watched any of the YouTube videos of garden tours at my house, you're gonna have seen a combination that looks similar to this. And that being said, if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, be sure to do so. There's a lot of other inspirational videos on garden tours, as well as featuring some of the different plant varieties that we carry. Garden Crossings is a mail order company, so we ship our plants all over the United States. So if you're liking what you see here today and don't find it locally, you can always shop online at gardencrossings.com and create any of these ideas that we have going here today that we're planting up. So next I'm taking the Begonia Double Delight Blush and planting them in the center of the pot. Like so. It's going to create kind of a tiered look in this planter. We'll have the fuchsia as the thriller, the begonias as the filler, and then that wandering Jew up front, that's going to be the spiller. Now we'll make a little spot right up front there. And I'm going to actually nip this off because I don't want it dangling. I want to kind of thicken it up a little bit. So by trimming a little bit off, that's going to help branch it and create a fuller plant. There we go. So that's kind of the layout we have going here. So this has the fuchsia firecracker, the begonia double blush, and then the wandering Jew. And we're going to go ahead and put those tags in, so the care instructions will be included in this combination. And this one, I forget what we called it. This was Firefly. All these planters I'm using are 15-inch, so the color may be changing, but the size of the pot is not. This container combination is called Butterfly Love. And let's see what we got here. We have Lantana Luscious Citron. This is a yellow lantana, along with the Mizu Trailing Red. So we've got 3 of the Mizu Trailing Red and 3 of the Lantana Citron. And then the thriller in this combination is going to be the Verbena Meteor Showers. So this is a beautiful purple verbena. So I got to dig a little soil out of here. When we use these big pots, we need to make more room here in these containers for when we're planting. You don't have to use the 6-inch pots, but what we find is if we were to plant these up from the baby plugs, sometimes the thrillers don't grow as quick and then they get lost. So we like to just grow the thrillers to give them a little bit of a head start, so that way they're more established than the 4.5-inch. So meteor showers will go there in the middle, just a little bit below the top there of the pot. Mizu Trailing Red. We're going to plant this as a triangle. If pieces break off this while you're planting, that's not a problem. You can either just stick them in the dirt and they should reroot, or you can throw them away or plant them in another container. Sometimes this can be a little bit of a fragile plant. That's the nice thing with annuals, though, is if a piece breaks off of them, you don't have to worry. They're quick to regenerate and recoup. Just kind of trail them over there a little bit so you can kind of envision that. And then now we're going to take the Luscious Citron Lantana and get these planted. They I'm gonna have to remove some more dirt. I guess I should be calling the soil, not dirt. Dirt's what comes out of the ground. Soil is what you plant into in pots. So I can see why this one's called Butterfly Love, because certainly this verbena and these lantana are going to be just a favorite of the butterflies and hummingbirds. And also another thing with this combination is all the plants that we've used in this combination are more of the drought tolerant nature. So if you're somebody that maybe isn't the best at watering, I should never be saying this, but if you're somebody that's not the best at watering, don't worry. These are a little bit forgiving. So I'm not going to say days on end forgiving, but maybe if you miss a day, you should be okay there. So let's find the tags. The citron, the meteor shower, and the mizu. And we'll put those in. That way people know how to care for this container. The next one we're going to do is called Peaches and Cream. And this has verbena peachy keen in it, along with the Supertunia. Well, this is not in the right pot. This is a Supertunia Black Cherry, Supertunia Latte, and then repeating again, another Black Cherry, another Peachy Keen, and another Latte. The thriller in this combination is the Spike. This is the Ruby, Cordaria, and that's the Ruby. All right, so let's go ahead and remove just a little soil out of this container. This one's really packed in there tight. Try not to make a mess here out in the greenhouse too, but sort of working, but not super great. Got a little pile going on below me. All right, so the Spike is going to go here right in the center. That's going to be the thriller in this combination. And then instead of doing like a triangle pattern, we're going to sort of do a triangle pattern, but it's going to be across from each other. So I guess it's really called the across from each other pattern, not a triangle pattern. So this is Supertunia Latte. And I'm going to do the next latte and put it right across. When I get done planting these up, I'd love your feedback as to which one you think is going to be the most interesting looking container. Superbena Peach Keen. Now, if you are planting these up and you're like, holy cow, Heidi, you are using a ton of plants. Like, I don't think I have that much budget for that many plants. You can go less plants, but the thing is, it's just not going to fill out as fast, and it may not be as full in the end. But if you are tight on budget and feel like I can only do like the Peachy Keen, the Latte, and the Black Cherry, you can do like a triangle pattern with the three of them with the Spike in the middle. Just know that it may not be as full. All right, so that was Black Cherry, and I snuck that Peachy Keen in there too without planting the other one, so we'll go back and do that. I say I can plant and talk at the same time, but clearly I can, but I just don't get everything done right. Not wrong, just not right. All right, let's get this verbena in there. So I think this is kind of not a typical colored combination that I would probably be planting up, but I'm really excited to see in the end what it looks like with that peach and that black cherry together. I think it's going to be quite stunning, actually. I'm just kind of packing them all in there good and moving the dirt around. Get that guy nice and centered. So that's kind of what that looks like. And this one is again called Peaches and Cream. And last but not least, we've got, oh, this one's called Hipster. It's for all you hipsters out there. This might be something up your alley. The reason I like this particular one though is it's got a very nice vibrant color scheme to it with the reds, the yellows, and the purples. So we've got Super Bells Yellow. We've got Super Bina Sparkling Amethyst. And then the Super Tunia, it's not blooming, that one here, really red. So this is actually a great way to show you those three colors together. And for those of you that are into the primary color schemes, I think this is gorgeous, this combination. And then for the Thriller, we're using the Cypress, this is a papyrus called Crown of Pharaoh. So that's gonna be a nice wispy, grassy Thriller. So let me go ahead and remove some soil here. I don't know about you, but I am not somebody that can garden with gloves. Like, I don't know, I'm the get your hands in the dirt kind of person. But that being said, I do not love dirt under my fingernails. So I do tend to keep my fingernails trimmed pretty short so that way I don't get dirt under them. But I'm not afraid to polish. You never know what color polish I'll have on. This is a pretty not so Heidi color, but I bought it for my daughter and I thought it was pretty cool. And I mean, for those of you that are Michigan fans right now, you're saying go blue, right? I don't have a preference to Michigan or Michigan State, so I'm not gonna take sides here and get in a fight. All right, so we're gonna put this grass right in the center there. And then here we're going to do the across from each other pattern as well. Super Bells Yellow. I think this looks great in this pot as well. Super Tunia Really Red. And then the Super Bina Sparkling Amethyst. Squish them in there. Get the soil nicely packed around them. So one thing I am going to say is if you are somebody that plants hanging baskets or containers, we do recommend the Proven Winners water soluble fertilizer once a week. Basically, if you feed them, they're going to continue to look fabulous. The fertilizer is basically your insurance. So whenever you buy things, you always buy that little bit of insurance. And the insurance is that if you keep your plants planted, of course you're going to keep them planted. If you keep them watered regularly, fed once a week, you're going to see the best performance out of these plants. Another thing I want to point out is with the Super Tunias, Super Bells, and Super Bina, these are all plant varieties that do not need to be deadheaded. So you can just plant them, water them, and feed them, and they'll be fabulous for you. You don't need to come out and deadhead them, once a week or whatever it is you may be used to. These are self-cleaning varieties, so they'll just continue to clean themselves and bloom all summer long. They're sterile, which means their job is not to produce seed. So a lot of the petunias are seed petunias, and their job is to produce seeds. Well, with these being sterile varieties, they have no job to produce seeds. So then their job is to continue flowering and producing more and more flowers. So if you're somebody who has kind of steered away from the petunias because you remember your grandma's out there picking at them, don't worry about that. These super petunias are self-cleaning, and I think you'll be happy once you give them a try. This is Heidi from Garden Crossings.